welcome back to Underwater Astrology. We're doing the week of November 20th to November 26th to November 27th, for the weekly astrology. So for Aries rising, we have Sun in Scorpio this week in 27 degrees in your 8th house, and it's transiting into Sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius in your 9th house, telling me you guys are moving through this huge weight of like being hypercritical and hyper aware in your relationships because you wanted to attract more money, to now you're just kind of letting go and being like, there's so many people who just want to have fun and let go. So I see a huge weight coming off of you this week, Aries rising. It's so important to be like, Venus is in Libra with the South Node, saying that some relationships are coming back. They're more karmic. They have more of a kick to them. And this kick is here to bring you out of your slump. This opposition is to bring you into spiritual growth. You're feeling like you're being censored in some relationships. So I feel like there's a justice energy to being like, I can't be in this relationship. I feel too censored. You know? It could be anything, your relationship to anything. And that's what you guys are here to define as the first zodiac is. It's I am fine. So what is making me feel fine? And that's the vibration. You guys kind of need to relax and enjoy. You have Chiron in your first house. You have the North Node Aries. You guys need to realize that people have a lot to say to you at times, and like you need to be able to sit down and listen. Sometimes you guys are very hot-headed. Sometimes you guys have a reputation of not listening and constantly projecting because of that subconscious Pisces in your 12th house. But I see this week you guys kind of maturing and being like, wait, no, I really should listen. It really is my time to listen. And that's making you feel better, right? And just realize the things that are not working out for you are actually for your best intention. For Taurus rising, for Sun in 27 degrees Scorpio in your 7th house, it's transiting then Sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius in your 8th house by the end of the week. For Taurus rising, you guys are just becoming so enlightened in how you see yourself, but it's the deeper character development here that's awakening everyone to your magnetism and drawing to you. With Neptune in your 11th house here, it's really about just understanding that, you know, sometimes you just want to fit in with your friends, but you're realizing there was all this weight before Saturn got into Pisces, and now you're having flashbacks of like all the times you've had to work 10 times harder to get where you got to in your career, and that's kind of making you be more discerning and, wait, I don't need to be friends with everyone, I just need to be friends with the people who love to do what I do. And that's what I see happening for you this week, Taurus rising, and that's just a beautiful relationship to your career. For Gemini rising, the Sun is in 27 degrees Scorpio in your 6th house, and it's transiting Sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius in your 7th house. This week, Gemini rising, you're coming out of the stress of work and the fixation and the focus and all the plastering you've been doing on projects, and now you're going to focus on relationships and the beauty of that. It's really about just understanding that sometimes, like, you don't know enough about someone to make a serious judgment, and that's what's so exciting about being a Gemini rising, is people see your lighthearted, airy energy, that they really want to be on this journey with you. They want to have any kind of relationship with you, like within the archetypes of friendships, like teacher, student, so that they can understand that maybe there is so much more to life than I knew. And I feel like for some of you guys, you're working through that Uranus in 20 degrees in Taurus and retrograde in your 12th house. That's telling you that maybe sometimes you feel like you're not enough and you need to be more enough and be more eccentric, but people are like, no, like, you're enough. It's definitely not you. And I think that's just a wake-up call for you this week, is that you're perfect, Gemini rising. You really are just working with your character development at your own level. Don't character development at other people's costs to feel or match a vibration that doesn't suit you. For Cancer rising, the Sun in 27 degrees Scorpio is transiting your 5th house, and then it'll transit into Sagittarius 4 degrees in your 6th house by the end of the week. Cancer rising, it's really about understanding, I feel like some of you guys are really just like amazed by how you've been so resilient with money, and it's really waking other people up, and you're like starting to create new belief systems, and you're like, wait, I was really strict, but I had to be. And that's helped me survive to this time. If I wasn't strict with money last year, I wouldn't be in this place. I would be in 10 times more debt. I would owe people a bunch of money. There would be serious issues with my health because I'd be having to work more. So now you guys are waking people up and you're teaching them like, wait, don't you want to save for the future so you don't have to work twice as hard? And you're getting super serious about this. Mind you, there are investments we all have to make, but you have this philosophy that's magnetic and impactful. Yes, there's a square with the South Node. Yes, communication's not going to be as easy this week at times, but it's the North Node in your 10th house, that understanding of, I at least know where I want to go. So sometimes I might come off as too shy or something, but there's always someone to speak for me because we have Pluto in your 7th house, telling me that there are going to be people who are empowering you on a deeper psychological level. And those people will come in at times where you have doubt. And that's what I see for you, Cancer rising. Maybe some of you are trying to seal a business deal and you need, I need a bit of boost. I could use something that's promoting me in a better way. For Leo rising this week, I really do see the sun in 27 degrees Scorpio transiting your 4th house, then moving to 4 degrees Sagittarius in your 5th house. It's really about understanding like your relationship to love. Like I see this really deep process of being like, I think I was being too shallow with the situation. I was moving too quickly. I missed that this person is here for me forever. And like when you realize that this person is promised to you, some of you have like this promised relationship. I really do want you to take this seriously and what that kind of development of that character you will need to become to change for that person. We all thought we were born here with a fixed reality, but it's how we treat people that really makes the fixed reality. And I see Leo rising being on their throne this week, being like creating stronger discernment, almost having this awareness with Scorpio being like, well, there's a square, right? There's a lot of squares happening. I mean, there's a square to Scorpio, but then it comes into a sextile at the end of the week. So I feel like you guys are really working through some family issues for some of you, some soul tribe issues, and like letting people go. And then by the end of the week, you're like, wait, that was just a moment. It really is about my emotional regulation, controlling that, like those bursts of energy, knowing how to rest through them. Actually, my advice for you is sometimes you're like, I need to be super high energy, but I think by the end of the week, you're going to be realizing love is actually resting at times for immensely long periods of times so that I can recoup and be for the people that matter the most. And I really love this Jupiter transit in Taurus and retrograde for you because this spiritual development you're really going to attract material success this week through understanding that you don't necessarily need to go out and greet everyone to bring in more business. It's about knowing how to hold the vibration of maintaining success, material wealth that makes you financially abundant. For Virgo rising, the sun in 27 degrees Scorpio is in your 3rd house, transiting to Sagittarius in your 4th house, 4 degrees by the end of the week. And it really is about pointing to how you are valuing yourself this week. How are you letting things blossom, right? You're a Virgo, so you're of the earth, or Virgo rising. So it really is about how are we stifling other people's growth? How do we need to focus on ourselves to create more abundance in our relationship with the earth, like letting things blossom? Maybe some of you need to start thinking of yourself as a star seed, or some of you are needing to understand what it means to be a deep soul and have impact with minimal contribution at times. You guys are so deep that I feel some of you just need minimal contribution. Just opening up your emails and responding, just being like, I'm there. Like, it doesn't need to be big and flamboyant like Leo, right? Or like super serious like Cancer, but it can just be like, you're just showing up and being like, I'm here, right? And that's what I see this week. You guys are kind of needing to get some energy, and I see that energy really coming back in and pampering yourself a little bit. And that's going to help you heal in understanding that you guys have went a lot through your work environment and your health the past few years, and now you're kind of overlooking it and you're realizing, wow, that was exhausting at times. But now you're like, wait, like now I have these really interesting, beautiful relationships that come in that are really meant for me, that are guides, right? These relationships are guides. and they're telling me that they're promising me that better relationships are to come. For Libra rising, the sun is in 27 degrees Scorpio in your second house, transiting to sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius at the end of the week in your third house. For Libra rising, it's really about understanding. Some of you have really been going through some intense times with your creative endeavors in the past few years. That was the past tense. Now you guys are really understanding the momentum of how to bring in better work for yourselves. And you're realizing sometimes there's limitations, but it's beautiful, right? Because that in conjunction is telling me that when you keep going, when you keep pursuing, you're promised more work. Again, similar to Virgo, it's about understanding where you can get more energy. I really do think it's about understanding when it's time to pamper yourself, when it's time to spoil yourself, when it's time to kind of stay home and recharge here, right? Because Pluto's transiting your fourth house, so it's really about understanding that there's a beautiful abundance in recharging. There's no shame in taking some time out, right? You're not an alarm clock, Libra. You're a person. There are people who genuinely want to help you, like, at all times. So if you need to let people know that you need to take some time in, people will respect that. For Scorpio rising, the sun is in Scorpio in 27 degrees, transiting your first house this week. And by the end of the week, it will be transiting your second house. For Scorpio rising, it's really about not being over picky with yourself and really getting things done. I think a lot of you are getting really prideful in how you're doing things this season. But I think as soon as we go into Sagittarius, you're being like, wait, I was spending way too much time on that person or that thing that didn't really matter. It could be like you were thinking about something that was negative that happened in the past, specifically to do with your family for some of you, or some of you old friends, and you're really like, that person was really annoying. And it was like kind of draining your energy, because you also have Jupiter in retrograde in Taurus in your seventh house. So it's telling me that at times it's really abundant, but with the retrograde, you're thinking about the bad relationships too. And this is a time when you guys really need to like understand that there's a balance between your scorpionic energy of fixation and focused and getting through things. And there's also the energy of really being really grounded and situated in your relationships. And when you work through that polarization, you have space for the gray. And that's where I see you guys healing this week, is moving into that, wow, how do I beautify my environment to relax and focus on my work more? For Sagittarius rising, the sun is in 27 degrees Scorpio in your 12th house, and it's transiting through to sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius in your 12th house. Sun is in Scorpio in your 12th house, and it's transiting to sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius in your first house. For Sagittarius rising, this week is about, you guys know. You guys are already on it, because you guys, by the end of the week, the energy's already in your house. The sun is there vitalizing you. Mercury's there revitalizing you. You're already given so much energy to understand who you are. And we will have a retrograde next month in your sign, but we'll talk about that later. So you guys are already going to have some intention on your beautiful thinking minds. It's really important to realize that sometimes you feel like there's competition, right? With this North Node Aries. And you guys don't sweat it. What I see you guys doing is really just focusing on your family, your home life. And when you attune to that, everything alleviates. And people actually start chilling out around you too, because you're like, wait, that was really intense, right? Because that's where Neptune is, and that's where the beauty is. And that's how you feel better, right? And Saturn's here in your third house. Saturn's here in your fourth house, telling you that there's more abundance with your home life to come in. And it's about accepting it. Yes, you might be a little bit weird. You might have been looking back at the past few years. Maybe my psyche hasn't been the best. Maybe I've been a really shrewd communicator. But it's over. And when you realize that you're growing as a character with Uranus in retrograde in your sixth house, it's telling me that you're becoming a better person when you know that there's a line between how you work and who your family is. You're treating your emotions differently. You have different characters. But it's about understanding that you really need to attune to the beauty of your family, and that recharges you to stay out of trouble this week, Sagittarius rising. For Capricorn rising, the sun is in Scorpio in 27 degrees, transiting your 11th house. As we move later into the week, we will get into sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius. It's really about understanding that sometimes things are unsaid but understood this week for you, Capricorn rising. It's really about understanding that people understand what you don't say. A lot of people find enlightenment in what you don't say. And that's really just an interesting process for you. But you guys are really being empowering. You guys actually are really felt in your friend group because you guys really are focused, and it's really interesting. Some of you will be put in situations where you will have to communicate, and then you have to realize this whole balance of how you want to be seen and who you really are in, again, similar to Sagittarius, in different situations. Sometimes you guys feel like you haven't valued yourself enough in the past, and this week I see you guys not bringing that energy in the conversations, but more staying clear of the negativity. You're like, okay, we can't go there. We can't communicate with that person. We can't make it too much about this. We need to move forward in the positive light, because that's how you attract more positive psyche. That's how you attract more positive communication. People start to respect you when you show up as a more balanced individual this week. Capricorn rising. For Aquarius rising, the sun is in 27 degrees Scorpio in your 10th house, transiting to sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius in your 11th house. For Aquarius rising, you're realizing that you need to focus on yourself. A lot of people are really making it about themselves this week, and that's where I see you guys being a lot more devoted and again, in your belief system. And maybe some of you are thinking about long-distance travel, or even just valuing long-distance travel, and that's making you feel more jovial. The alleviation of knowing that you can travel to a place that's beautiful. For a lot of you, it's knowing that in your career, you're known as a very powerfully moving person. But it's understanding what kind of powerfully moving person are you? Are you a person here to transform people into better, or are you not using your powers well? And that's what I see this week. A lot of you are realizing that you've been too hard on yourself. You've not letting yourself open up, especially at home with your soul tribe. And now you're realizing, kind of having these like prophecies of where you'll be next year with your soul tribe, and that's bringing a lot of excitement. You have a lot of excitement here, Aquarius rising, but I actually do see you guys kind of grounding more with that Jupiter retrograde, to know that there are things going on in the world. The world has been shooken up, and I do need to stay closer with my tribe. For Pisces rising, the sun is in 27 degrees Scorpio and you're transiting your 9th house. And then we go into sun in 4 degrees Sagittarius, transiting your 10th house. For you, Pisces rising, it's really about knowing that you really know how to get to where you want to go. But understand that there are people you can't just hit on the way. You know what I mean? Okay, if somebody's wronged you, let them go. But come on, for the people that have been nice to you, just a nice response to let them know you're okay is fine. I know a lot of you Pisces rising are hiding out because of you feel so much and you're so empathetic. But a lot of you are going through this deep character development in your communication with Jupiter in retrograde in Taurus in your 3rd house, and it is moving a degree back in your 7 degrees, which is kind of telling me that some people just want to hear from you. Some people just want to know you're okay. So know who those people are first and foremost, so that you're not going back to weird relationships. That's how you set boundaries, right? Just letting your close friends know how you're doing is really important. And that's how you're not wasting like this reservoir of energy, being like ever doubting where you're going. And that's all for this week from Underwater Astrology. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Much love. Underwater.